Hello, and welcome back. Today, we're doing episode 5. Now, episode 5, we're going to Kilika Island. And in Kilika Island, we're going to cause some trouble. Now, we haven't been able to do too much, like, sphere hunting, kind of pirating sort of thing, which tends to be the type of style that they're trying to portraying in this game, right? Your sphere hunters, they're going to go take the spheres no matter what. No one's going to stop them. Well, today's the day where they ain't stopping us. So anyway, as you can see, Kilika Island, if you remember this particular area from Final Fantasy X, this is basically the first time that we see Sin just wreck face and destroy an entire city, more or less. Like, just right off the island, Sin comes off the beach and just nukes everything. But now it's a much happier place. Post Sin, pretty much everything is. So, yeah. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and move things along. Here we're gonna get a little cutscene, so we're just gonna go ahead and let that play out for you.
Hiya, sphere hunters! A fantastic show is nearly upon us. I'm totally the sponsor of the show. That's me.
A show?
Yep. It will be quite the spectacle with their music going bleep bleep kaboom. What could go wrong? Whatever could go wrong?
Ooh, that's
Unfortunately, little does he know that we could go wrong. So there's a couple of side quests that you can glow. Check that out. This little cutscene serves as like saying, hey, you should go to the Moonflow because you should help this guy out. And the reason you should do that is to be able to get the Gun Mage dress sphere. So if you're looking to get all the dress spheres and complete all the side missions and what have you, you should go ahead and do that. Unfortunately for me, in this playthrough, I completely forgot at the time and just passed over it. So I never got to do that just because I was more focused on getting these videos together and all that stuff for you guys. So next time I will try and make a video later on and get that part, so we'll have something for the Gun Mage. Okay, so by making your way up north, you'll eventually get to this cutscene, which is going to be sort of the transition to the story in this particular chapter mission.
Definitely awesome. It will be, won't it?
Keep this up and someone will beat us to it.
Sorry.
See? Payne's always got her eyes on the prize, man. Always got her eyes on the prize, which is good. She's the one, the strong voice, the strong character, which is why I was like to play her as like warrior or tank or knight or something like that. She just seems to fill that role pretty well. So from here you want to make your way up north. There's a lot of chests in this area that you can find. So if you just go, you want to go ahead and grab all that stuff you can. I just cut that out for time purposes. So eventually these gentlemen will let you in, which will lead to another cutscene. So basically the premise in this area is that the elites of New Yevon, which is one of the political groups in Spira, have taken one of the spheres, and it holds information that the Youth League wants to make public to the world, so that the overbearing government is controlling everything, and so that the people get to know
These are all sphere hunters?
the history of Spira.
I don't think so.
So go ahead and just let this play for you folks to
Look
listen
over
to.
there. Who's that?
Nude.
Maven of the Youth League, right?
Greetings, friends. An important sphere is hidden in Kilika Temple. A sphere documenting the true history of Spira. We are here today to demand that New Yevon make the contents of that sphere public.
I love that all the main characters in this story have like this weird fashion sense of random ass clothing. It's odd.
I ask you why? Because New Yevon wants to hide the truth. just as the temples did before them. I tell you now, this has gone on long enough. My friends, stand with me, and together we will bring the truth back to the people. But let's not overdo it. Our opponents aren't as young as they used to be.
Not exactly what I had expected. Hey! That's our sphere! Oh, Poopy. So what now? Call it quits?
Don't know about you, but I could use an awesome sphere.
Okay. They can't decide who it belongs to. I say we make it our own.
It's like a unit taking charge. I think Pain is rubbing off on her, which is good. So anyway, this is the mission here. We'll get our little debriefing on what we need to be doing in this area. Mission time. Oh baby. Awesome sphere alert. Oh yes. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make it our job to steal this thing back. So anyway, so I'm gonna be doing some jumping around, just like the last video. I'm gonna be showing you the important bits and any important enemies that you need to watch out for, because there are some pretty annoying enemies in this area.
Hand over the sphere! The temples have controlled Sphere's secrets long enough! Spheres? Secrets? What's this about? Don't play dumb, we know you're guarding something.
So another very important thing about this area is that this area is going to be guarded off in certain sections. So you're going to have to use certain pathways to go around to try and circumvent the blockades that are on the normal pathways. So I'm going to leave most of that going in, so that way that you guys can see where to walk and what have you. So if there's any sudden jumps, it's because I just skipped a battle. Other than that, like I said before, I'm going to show you certain enemies that are going to come up that are quite annoying and give you a little detail of kind of how I dealt with them. There probably might be better ways, but at least how I was able to get past them. So these enemies, obviously, you have some fire elementals, and then you have this bee, right? And so what the bee does is it'll try and put you to sleep. So if you're in the middle of casting a spell, which is what kind of just happened to this just there, Pain was in the middle of casting something, and she got put to sleep. So that's one of the things about active mode that you kind of have to worry about. Is if you're in the middle of casting, they're going to go ahead and keep on attacking you. So just watch out for that. It's not a big deal. You could just be a weak character and give her a smack, because the thing is that the red elementals do magic damage, and magic damage doesn't count towards waking up a person when they're asleep. So you can just force your way through, kind of how I'm doing right here, and just keep smacking the crap out of them, and then eventually they'll die. They're very easy to kill. So if you make your way up this pathway, you'll see it's closed off, just like this gentleman just said. If you walk closer, they'll reinforce that. So you don't want to go that way. So as you can see in the mini-map, there's this little pathway in the middle. You can take that up, which is where I'm going to be heading. Unfortunately, I run into this enemy. Now, this enemy is probably the toughest one in the area. It's not really weak to anything. It's got high armor, so physical attacks aren't really going to do it. It seems to have a lot of health for the enemies in this part of the game and for the level that I am. So trying to force through damage isn't really going to help, because if he does the body slam, yeah, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. So you really want to be careful, be prepared for when you fight these monsters. Perhaps do a little level grinding ahead of time. Just make sure you're healed up. Yuna can heal herself right now as a festivalist, but at this point you have white mage, so of course you can use that as well. So just be wary, because your characters will die, and you really don't want that, of course.
Sayonara. I'm all tuckered out. You said it.
And as you can see, for how long that battle took, you definitely want to prepare and make sure you're healing after every battle, no matter how small, just because if you run into that thing, you might just one-shot one of your characters and make it that much harder for you to continue, especially if you haven't saved in a while. So anyway, just keep making your way through. Certain areas are going to be cut off here and there, so you just want to be careful about that. So just keep on going through this pathway, and once you reach this area, if you go north, you'll get this little prompt. Now the first time I did this, I didn't do it, but you're going to want to use just a little peek. I'll go back eventually and you'll see it again, because if you don't do that and you come this way around, you're going to see that you run into some guards at the end of this pathway and you have to give them a password. So that's what's important about that, I guess seeing through the crack, is that they'll be talking about the password. You'll see it in a minute. But just be careful about that, not to waste too much time if that's a concern to you. Well, here's another enemy. It's like a chimera kind of thing. They're pretty straightforward. They'll poison you, but they're very easy to kill if you just basically just spam your abilities. Not too much effort at all. As you can see, I have Riku in the festival list. Now this is another important thing. There's certain class dress spheres that are slightly different between the characters. So where Yuna kind of throws out a random element of the type that you use, for whatever reason, Riku likes to send out fish that do fire damage. So that's kind of useful. And then I believe that Pains, when she does hers, is all support kind of controlling type magic. So blind, silence, slow, something like that. So that's pretty useful to use. It's just the detriment of taking away the warrior class is a little too much for me to be using that as often. Anyway, so here's a little monkey. I didn't find the other ones. I don't know if there are other ones. Again, if there is anything that I missed, just leave me a comment and then I'll know and I'll update this video and throw in a little snippet or something, just in case you guys are going for the 100%. For me, just my purposes, I'm going for normal run. So here you go. Here's the password now. So there's 2 of them that you get, depending on how many enemies that you run into, either evens or odds. Odds here will give you the password for carved monkey. So remember that. For odd, it's carved monkey. And you want to hit more, unless you, for whatever reason, you already know the password. But for even, it's going to be craven monkey. So just remember that. Odd is carved monkey, even is craven monkey. And with that, you should be fine. So when you make your way back around, you'll get these prompts a couple of times. And whenever you answer one correctly, they'll let you pass, and sometimes they'll give you items. I believe if you answer incorrectly, they will attack you, and you'll have to force your way past. So just stay focused, and you should be able to get through this part with relative ease. See here, they try and trick you with the whole camera changing around. So just be attentive to your area. And then this last one is the trickiest one, because at first they'll give you these 3, and then a couple more are going to jump in, and then you have to give them the password again. So just to see that you're paying attention.
Which is why I keep telling you.
Shut up. Just give us the sphere and we'll be on our way.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hey! I found the sphere!
There you have it. What's that?
I had a little something nice and...
Alright, so here's the boss for this area. But it's no match for us, the Gullwings. Anyway. So, it's a machine type boss, obviously like a Machina. So we probably use lightning attacks and it'll work pretty well. For me, I didn't really have any, I also didn't have any setups with Black Mage, so I just went ahead and used the fire abilities, used some controlling abilities like power, break, and then used Riku as the support for most of this fight. So I think I had her swap around a bit. But right now, she's the festivalist, looking all cool and shit. Anyway, so yeah, so just pretty much just keep beating on this thing. It's not too hard to deal with. It doesn't do as much damage as most of the enemies that you fought coming up to this point. So it won't be that much of a stretch to deal with this boss, considering that you've gotten here in the first place. So just keep pressing away, and you'll eventually defeat the thing. Of course, make sure you would try to steal the item that it has, as always. But just keep pressing forward and you'll be fine.
No one expects the goldfish.
Nice knowing you.
Huh, how you like that? Not bad at all.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Actually, we're sphere hunters.
So?
Oh yeah. Now this is what we've been waiting for them to take authority. To show them that the Gullwings are nothing to mess with. And right on cue, brother comes in. And it's time to get out of here, girls. So anyway, that just about wraps it up. There's nothing else important that's going to be happening in this video in terms of gameplay. It's just a little bit of dialogue. The next video, there will be sort of like an interlude between the gameplay. It'll be just focusing on one cutscene that's going to come up, which is fairly important to the overarching storyline so far. So make sure you check that out as soon as I have that up. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to leave anything in the comments, it'd be much appreciated so I can get some feedback from you guys. So until then, thanks very, very much for watching. And I hope that you tune in next time. So until then, see y'all later.